from the Upper East region. We are in Baugatanga, the capital of Upper East region. We've just taken a little walk down to Baugatanga. Welcome to Success Stories. On my show today, I have a very important and very powerful man that I will be celebrating today. Today on my show, I have a kind-hearted gentleman. He's a very responsible and hardworking Ghanaian, a true Ghanaian, someone who puts the interests of other people before his. Like I said, he's a very kind-hearted man, a quite responsible man, and he's a role model in the Ghanaian society. My name is Edith Chapman, aka Mama Niger. Success Stories is brought to you by TTV, Tabeah Television, best out of nuance. In a short while, we'll be back. Welcome back from the break. If you have just tuned in, you are watching Success Stories. My wonderful guest on this show today is Professor Peter Baba Aluze-Ele. He happens to be the owner and chief executive officer of TAB group of companies here in Baugatanga and in Ghana. My name is Edith Chapman. And to my cherished guests, Prof, you are welcome to Success Stories.
Thank you. You're welcome to TAB Hotel.
Thank you. Yes, we have over 7 people nominated you to be celebrated. You can be a small Canada, or you never knew someone is seeing you, and someone you are actually impacting people's life. Your life inspires a lot of people, especially here in Baugatanga, and that is why today we are celebrating you. So how is the family?
They're all doing well.
And how is business?
Business is doing well by God's grace.
Yeah, we thank God for today. Yes, let's look at your upbringing. How was your growing up? Sometime as a little child, you try to run some errands in those days for parents and for siblings. So how did it all start?
I came to start my education here in Baugatanga.
Okay.
Initially in Zouarou, but I came from Kumasi. My parents were settled in Kumasi. And in those days, it was difficult to tell people's age.
Okay.
So they actually used my hand to see if I could touch my ear, and I was old enough to go to school. And they sent me up to my auntie in Zouarou, and I started with Zouarou Primary. And then my auntie moved to Soin here, where we're based, and I continued my primary school here. And then middle school we were the first junior secondary school, people that were created. Yes. So after my Form 1, my school was actually turned to the first experimental junior secondary schools in the country. And that's how I started education here.
Yeah, but I know definitely it didn't end there.
No, it didn't.
So what happened next after your JHS?
Amazingly, our school, I think on the National League, if I'm not wrong, we came first among the best in the experimental junior secondary schools.
What?
So my school was turned into a technical school and currently called Zamstek.
Zamstek?
Yes.
Yeah, here in Baugatanga?
Here in Baugatanga at the estates.
Okay.
Yes. And I was the first SP of Zamstek.
Good, SP. SP, there's a saying that school prefects, especially as SP, is not out of coverage area. SP is always within the coverage area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Responsible and clever.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I was the first SP. I mean, when it was still junior secondary, there was another person called Sylvester. Sylvester. He was our SP, but when it was turned to the Zamstek, a technical school, then I became the first SP. And yes, my responsibility started from there. I used to be a naughty boy. But then when I became SP, I had to behave. And I think my transformation started from there.
Okay, like a build-up person. Yeah. So, you were still at Zamstek as a senior prefect.
Yeah.
Have you ever been caged?
I have been very lucky because even with my naughtiness, I got away from trouble.
Okay.
I used to be, my naughtiness was about making fun. People were happy to be around me because they would always laugh, you know,
Okay.
and they always feel a sense of companionship.
Okay.
Yes.
So, obviously, it didn't also end there.
Yeah.
Let's look at your school. Yeah, from the GHS,
Yeah.
you proceeded to
Secondary technical. Yeah.
And that was where?
That's the Zamstek.
Yeah.
And then when I completed, I then enrolled to K Poly, and I studied mechanical engineering.
You're an engineer?
Yes.
Mm.
I became an engineer eventually.
Okay.
So after K Poly, I traveled within the West African sub-region. So I first worked I did my industrial placement at KBL, Kumasi Brewery Limited. And after that, I traveled to Liberia, and I was teaching in a secondary school in Liberia before the war.
Well, I hope the war didn't meet you there too.
The war did.
Wow.
Yes. I was there when the war started, and I lived in a place called Nimba County. Nimba County is where the war actually started. And then we traveled with my family into Guinea and then down to Lufa County, back to Monrovia. And we were locked there. We couldn't get out until ECOMOG came, the West African force that came to rescue West African citizens within Liberia. So I came by one of the military ships to Ghana.
We have tried all. If my people will say the head that is going up is never cut off.
Right.
I think God had a purpose for your life, and that is why you're still alive.
That's true.
We have to give all the glory to God.
Amen.
Yes. We'll be going for a short break, and when we return, I'll ask you about the family and other things.
Okay.
So, viewers, if you have just tuned in, you are watching Success Stories. And with me on this show is Professor Peter Baba Aluze-Ele. He is the owner and the CEO of TAB Group of Companies. My name is Edith Oko Chapman, aka Mama Niger. Success Stories brought to you by TTV. We'll be back. Welcome back from the break. If you have just tuned, this is Success Stories. And with me on this show is Professor Peter Baba Aluze-Ele. He happens to be the owner of a TAB Group of Companies here in Ghana. And Success Stories is brought to you by TTV, Best Arab Numerous. The story still unfolds. You can see I'm getting so excited. What's an interesting story? Director. Or prof. I never knew you were an engineer. You are a man of so many parts. Anyway, we thank God for your life. Yes. We're talking about the ECOMOG evacuating you in their first batch from Liberia.
Right.
You witnessed the war.
Yes.
So we thank God you're back. I think we'll get back to that. Let us talk about the real business. Now, you schooled in Ghana.
Yes.
Good. You did not attend your tertiary schools here. You ended up with Zamstek
Yes.
technical school there.
Yes.
So.
And then K Poly.
K Poly, good.
And then after that, I traveled a bit. And as I mentioned, I traveled to Liberia and I was a teacher there. So actually, teaching has been in my blood for a long time.
That's good. Teaching is a good profession.
That's right. And then after we were evacuated from Liberia, things were tough. I used to sell, I had a lotto kiosk that I used to sell lotto.
Lotto?
Yes, because there was no job.
Okay.
And I had to find something doing. And then after that, I decided then I'll leave the country again and I traveled to South Africa.
Okay.
So actually, traveled to South Africa, I think, 1992 or so, 92, 93. And the same way I started teaching in South Africa again.
Again?
Well, that was working for the YMCA in Johannesburg.
Okay.
In a place called Brownfontein. And I really enjoyed my work there. It was for street children, actually.
Oh, that's good.
So I supported street children. They came and we had church service for them. Then we fed them. They had a bath, which is the only place that they could have a bath. And then they moved back to the streets again.
Oh.
And during my time, I worked with a South African, and he was the program director, and I suggested, we are doing the same thing over and over again. How can we help the children to integrate back into society? So we sat down and had a plan that we will identify each individual child's needs, and if it was possible that we can link them back to their parents. And sometimes the children will say if they go back home, they will beat them. So it's okay, let's contact your parents and see how we can sort that out. And we managed to actually take children back to their families, and they went back to proper school. And when Nelson Mandela came, he actually commended that program, and I was part of that program.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah.
So, and you proceeded.
Yes.
Your degrees, you had them abroad.
Yes. I wanted to work for VW South Africa.
Okay.
So, because of my background in mechanical engineering, and the personnel manager was a white lady, and she said, Peter, why do you want to be a mechanic? Can't you go for further studies? And this is an interview that the person doesn't know me from anywhere. And I said, well, what do I do? He says, you should go for further studies. And I said, that was not possible in South Africa. He says, well, it is not only in South Africa, you can study. So that inspired me to travel to the UK to continue with my studies.
Okay. Your siblings, are they all alive?
Yes, they are all alive.
Good. I'm very sure you're married.
Yes, I'm married with children.
That's good. Now let's look at those errands. I was coming up with that, but I didn't know how it all does the errands you ran for your parents while you were still with them, they were alive, and day-to-day activity, the chores. Can you cook? Did you cook for your parents?
At the time, no, because we were many children and we were not allowed in the kitchen, especially the boys.
Okay, what fire? Did you fetch fire?
Oh yes, we did go to buy charcoal.
Okay.
Because I traveled from Kumasi and did most of my schooling in Bogotanga. I actually lived with my auntie, and weekends I used to look after my grandfather's animals, cattle. So I take them to the field, and then I would wrestle with other children, in the fields. So I needed to be strong to survive out there. And I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did well. It means it all boils down that you were very serviceable to your parents and to your siblings. Yeah. But did they beat you? You remember what they said at some sec, you were a bit funny, and they could get on well with you because you were naughty. Let me put that way.
That's right. And up to now, a lot of my colleagues, some of them are abroad, some of them are in other parts of the country. Yeah. And we meet even at our hotel and we reminisce, about all the interesting things that happen.
Yeah, spirit of warmness, spirit of togetherness.
That's right.
As a professor once told me, one of my lecturers back at the university, that the secondary school, after the primary school, the next stage, that is where you are built.
Very true.
He said the way you get on with your grammatical structures, the way you get on in life, that is the place you are built. That when you live there and you get to university, university doesn't make you speak very good English. It's a senior high or the secondary school, the next stage after the primary school.
I think that is really, really, that professor has really touched the right button.
Yeah.
With being in the junior secondary school and then transforming into Zamstek, we were the pioneers, we were the first batch. We had no guide at all. We had no role models to look up to. So we were almost like sheep. You know,
without shepherd.
The only shepherd we have, and I have to mention at this moment, is our headmaster. Our then headmaster was Aluze-Ele. I don't know whether he was a deputy electoral commissioner.
Okay, yeah.
You heard of the name? Yeah. And he just, well, with the other staff, but he almost singularly guided us through. And all of us always remember him. He's retired now, and I hope he's listening. He has been an inspiration to us.
You know, Success Story is a program that is widely viewed by people. So many people watch. Yes. You see, at the end of this program, people will be calling. You see them texting. We want this to be celebrated. We want this to be celebrated. Yes, Prof. Let's look at TAP group of companies. Yes. So let's look at the group. You have a hotel.
Yes.
That is where we are now. You know, do you know your hotel is very neat?
Oh, thank you.
I think if I should look at Bogatanga, the hotels here, I think I wouldn't mention any the first TAP hotel.
Oh.
It's quite very neat, and the service is superb.
I really appreciate it.
Oh yes, this is my third time of coming here, and the way your staff receive people, I think I should say is the best so far I've seen within another region. And you see the love. Customer, they normally put customer first. I remember when I came here the first time, they received me quite well. And you can see everywhere is parking.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw the swimming pool. So let's look at the TAP group of companies.
Yes. The main company is registered in Ghana as TAP Ghana Limited.
TAP Ghana Limited.
Yes. So we do the hospitality aspect, which is TAP Hotel, and then I have TAP Entertainment.
Entertainment?
So, yeah.
Are you a musician?
I love music.
You love music?
And I produce a lot of musicians as well. A few musicians like Esther Smith, Agnes Opokwajumai, and Joyce Asedua. So, and there are some on the pipeline. I want to actually develop the youth here, the musicians here.
Yeah.
And I've had a series of meetings with some musicians and some other producers.
And even the musicians you have mentioned, I think I've listened to their songs, especially Esther Smith. Yeah. Her song inspires me a lot. Yeah. Though I don't understand all what she says, you know, sometimes it goes into the local language too.
Yes.
But I have friends who do interpret to me what it means. I think any song that is used to praise God, to acknowledge God, is sound because without God,
it's always good to put God first.
Yes. So the group of companies, let's look at what made you to, what pushed you into establishing such a beautiful hotel?
Mostly people, I'm inspired by, my dad used to also try to develop buildings. In fact, this hotel is sitting on one of my dad's plots.
Oh, that's good.
Yes,
that's good.
And it was a local house, built by bricks. And when my dad passed away, I'm the firstborn of the family.
Okay.
So I thought I will carry on with his sort of idea. And I first started building in Ghana. I started building at East Legon, as a place where I can always come back to Ghana and rest a little bit before traveling to Bogatanga. It turned out to be a very good business because my children traveled to the UK and the place was empty, so I decided to advertise for as an expatriate accommodation.
Okay.
And it's been making good money, so I thought, well,
I've been able to.
I'll go to Bogatanga and do something. Yes.
Yeah, we really done well. So you put up the first place at East Legon. Yes. I think in your last submission you said when your kids finally went abroad, joined, and it was empty, and you decided to give it out. Yeah. So from there you came about building. How did you come about this TAP hotel here in Bogatanga? How did you come about that? Yeah.
The reasons for having the property in East Legon was actually as my residence in Accra before Accra and Bolga is relatively a long distance. And I have some part of the family in Kumasi. Most of us grew up there. So that was for residence, but then it turned out to be an investment, by renting it to expatriates. The reason for building here was different. The hotel in Bogotanga was different. Because first it was to develop the land here, to develop my community, to provide jobs, for the youth in particular. And money was the last thing, and even still is the last thing, the reason why I built Tap Hotel.
Okay.
And like I said, it will also inspire other people to also develop the region. And I think that's where I draw my inspiration for building Tap Hotel.
That's good. Yeah. So that's how it all came about. What a beautiful hotel you have here. Mm-hmm. So if someone wants to visit here, that's why I'm encouraging my viewers to visit Tap Hotel when they are in Bogatanga. Mm-hmm. I have tasted the place I'm here, and the service, how everything is done is good. You see the staff, they're all smiling, serving, doing their business, positively. Yeah. So supposing one wants to come, apart from me, because I know the place now, I know Tap Hotel. If a visitor is coming to Tap Hotel from, let's say from Navrango, from Tamale, from Boku, so how will you describe the place?
First of all, I have to say thank you so much for, describing Tap Hotel, in a very good way, and we do appreciate that. I know we still continually have to improve. So our staff are doing very well, and I really appreciate their effort. But we need to continuously improve, and also to adapt to certain things to suit our customers much better. On the issue of direction, there are three main entrances into Bogatanga. And that is, one is the main road from Tamale, from the south. And then when you get into Bogatanga from the south, you can either continue the Nabrongo Road up to, there is a junction called the Library Junction near the Catholic Church. And when you come down to the stadium area and turn left, then you are on the Bombo Road, which is, and then Tap Hotel is just to your right, after the McLean Dam. Okay. If you are coming from the second direction, which is from Nabrongo or Burkina Faso, then you get to the Hospital Junction, and that's the first intersection, and then turn left through, I think there are some public houses there. I'm talking about government houses there, into if you know, I think the police commissioner, the bishop of Nabrongo Bogatanga Diocese, that road, then you hit the Bombo Road again, turn right, and then immediately left, and you're at Tap Hotel. The third direction is, if you are coming from Boko or Togo, the northern part of Togo, and after the bridge, you get to near the fire service, then there's a right turn through to Leskin, the beer distributor in Boga here. That's just near the stadium. And then you carry on onto the Bombo Road, and Tap Hotel is on your right hand side. So it's right in the middle of town.
Yes, indeed, you are a teacher.
Thank you.
The description is clear. So let's look at happiest day in life. Teachers will say, describe your happiest day in life. So let's look at your happiest day in life.
Wow. I have had many, many happy days, and sometimes it's difficult to choose one from the other. In terms of teaching, like I said, I've had many happy days, and that is when a student comes into your hands, and first of all, they don't have any confidence that they can do the course that they've actually enrolled to do. And it is your responsibility as a teacher to move them from A to B. So every single time I'm able to move a child for a student from one point to the other. That is a big achievement for me, not the child.
Yeah, I know.
You know. In terms of my happiest day in life in general, I recount when I was in primary school in Soin here in Bogatanga, just where we sit. There is a dam called McLean Dam, you know, right on the Bombay Road. And we used to hide to go and swim.
Hey!
In the dam, yes. And our head teacher was very strict.
Okay.
You know, even at that time, Tap Hotel where we are was still farms. So we used to hide under, you know, the farms to go and swim. And one day I was on the banks of the dam and I heard a lady crying, you know, from the slipway of the dam. And I then ran to go and find out what was happening. And apparently her child was playing around her while she was washing. And there was algae and the child just slipped into the dam. So when I went, the lady was uncontrollable and said the child had fallen into the dam. Took off my clothes and jumped in.
Your uniform?
No, I managed to take off my clothes.
Okay. But you're wearing your uniform?
I was wearing my shorts. I was in uniform.
Okay.
But if I went to school, back to school with wet uniform, then, you know, I'll be in trouble.
You took off your clothes.
So I took off my clothes. And I was relatively young. I didn't actually care, you know, what was happening. I just jumped into the water and then searched for the child. And I actually got the child alive. And then people ran from the road and took the child from me because it was so slippery. I couldn't come up with the child myself, so I just put it on the surface.
Yeah.
And then when I came out, people now started asking, who saved this child? And I panicked. And I ran away. Up to now, they don't know who saved that child.
Oh.
That's the happiest day in my life.
Oh, what a happy day.
Yes.
You know, thank you so much for doing that. It pays to be good.
Yeah.
So let's look at your saddest day. A sad day in your life.
Just like the happy days that I've mentioned, I've got so many happy days because I think people say life is short. I don't think life is short.
No.
I think life is precious. And even if it is one moment,
It's precious.
it's precious. And so the sad days, the main sad days in my life are the moments my dad passed away and the moment my mom passed away.
I'm sorry.
So losing my parents on both occasions is something that I really miss my parents so much.
And I pray that may they find peace in the bosom of God.
Amen.
May their souls rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
And I know it rests
Yeah.
in peace.
Amen.
You know, these things we don't question God. God knew why it all happened and all that happens around us.
That's true.
So, I know with the little success God has given to you, you must have shared a lot.
Oh, yes.
Because those who nominated you, you talked about it, that you are a kind-hearted person. Before 6 people can say one person is a kind-hearted person, even those who are not from Boga, then I think that statement should be right. But I would say ask, have you been able to share a little success, a little of what God has done for you with others? I mean the vulnerables.
Yeah.
Let's take maybe Children's Home. Let's take Children's Home for example. I think you have one here in Boga.
Yes, I think the main one that I know is the one in Tabeah.
Oh.
But then I think there is a children's home
Yeah.
here as well.
So let's see how far you've been able to assist.
I believe in sharing.
Good.
And most of the sharing is what we are talking about now. Sharing of ideas, sharing of experience. And then it goes into also sharing of what God has given me.
Yeah.
And I love people. I don't want to see people in difficult situations. So yes, I support even my staff beyond just being my staff.
Okay.
I still look at their personal difficulties and I try to see if it is advice I have to give them If it is financial support, maybe they need accommodation or their landlord is driving them away, I will step in, irrespective of the fact that I pay them. If there are family issues that I think that I can come in because my voice may make a difference, I do that. I also do the same in the society. I support children by paying their school fees for them.
Oh, God bless you.
And
you've been kind to people too.
yes.
Yeah. Apart from that, what else have you done for people?
Well, what I do for people is almost on a daily basis, because I'm so grateful to God that I'm in a position to support people, whether it is school fees, whether my local school where I come from are needing renovations or additional classrooms for, not necessarily classrooms, I think in my village they needed a place where they could have a staff office or where they can keep the children's books, and I offer to support in that as well. So it is countless, but I think the bottom line is that I am willing to support people when I'm able to do so.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and I'm grateful that today God has made us to see. I have been looking for you. I thank God for bringing you, at least for me, to have one-on-one with you. I thank you for coming on this show, but I will not let you go, not until you give some few pieces of advice to those who are watching us. It could be South Africa, Malawi, and other places. People are watching us from across the nations, especially in Ghana. One or two advice from you to our viewers or the Ghanaian youths. It could heal a wound. So, Your Excellency, the camera is for you.
I personally feel that God has put each and every one of us onto this world with a purpose. And my advice is that we should be willing to learn and to listen. We should be willing to make an effort in whatever we are doing. Avoid quick ways of either succeeding or making money, but work hard, learn from others, be determined, and I'm sure by God's grace we can all achieve our reasons for being here.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, able engineer. You have a lot of titles. I think you are really hardworking and successful man. God bless you so much for coming on my show.
Amen.
I wish you and your family, you and your children, you and your family, many long life.
Amen.
And I thank God for bringing you at least on the ways of people who need help.
Thank you.
You've been very helpful to people. All those who nominated you, they talked so much about that. That is a kind-hearted man. So only when he has, he gives it freely. Thank you. I think that's one of the reasons why God is still keeping you.
I'm glad for having you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, viewers, I know indeed you are very much excited. I have enjoyed this story today. What a story. I also thank you too for being there and for being my guest. The program has been success stories, brought to you by TTV. Best are numerous. My cherished guest has been Professor Peter Baba at Aluze-Ele. He is the owner of that group of companies. That group of companies, including hotel, including name it. And we are reaching you from Bogatanga, from Tap Hotel in Bogatanga, a very beautiful place to be. My name is Edith Okochapman, aka Mama Naija. You too can nominate someone to be on this program. You can nominate your father, your mother, your community chief, someone who goes to the mosque with you, and we will have the one on this show celebrated. Make a date with me, same time next week. From me and from my cherished guests, we are saying bye-bye from Bogatanga. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.